Today we're going to walk into the house of a Houston area landlord and talk with him about his rental property, his lease, his screening, and his advice for landlords. Let's get started.
So this property was acquired during 2022, when all the hype was happening. This was our primary home. We lived in this.
So did you buy it in 22 or you transferred into rent property in 22?
No, we bought in 2022. This will be our first renters. We lived in it for 2 years now. The first renter coming in on this property. So we moved out, bought another property as primary home as our family is growing, and now it is becoming a rental at this point.
I see. So your next lease is going to be the first time you rent this property?
Correct.
I understand now. So then you bought this house with the intention to stay for 2 years, and now you're about to lease it. Tell us, do you have a assigned tenant yet?
Yes, so we went through the screening criteria. We have strict screening criteria. Like I mentioned before, the first experience taught me the $25,000 education cost taught me a lot. Your education taught me a lot. I have a strict screening criteria written down, and I send it out to every applicant that calls in on the property. If they feel that they do not fit on the criteria, they themselves drop it off. And then the ones that put in the application, we go through the screening process. We do their wage, criminal history, eviction history. We do all those screenings, employment verification. And then if they're accepted, we have a strong lease that we write. And always, this is one thing I learned. Tenants are there for leasing the property. It is your property. Make sure they follow each and every thing that is written on the lease. If they are uncomfortable with the lease, they don't need to sign it. It is your property. Make sure you are here to protect your property. They are not here to protect your property. They are supposed to lease it, and they will go away sometime. They will do damages. That's how it is. So it's on you to make sure to minimize the damages. That is why you need to have a strong lease. That's for sure, you need to have it.
Tell me a little bit about the screening process. Do you use software? Do you do all the screening yourself? Do you hire a company to do it?
So I have a software. First I send them the application. I want them to fill the application 100%. I don't want partially filled applications. I do not accept those. The Ender application, which is I still use the Texas Trek application. They need to fill it out. Once it comes in, I go through it completely. I make sure that whatever they mention in the application passes my criteria, which is basically simple. The criteria varies depending upon the property. For a property like this, in the range of $325,000, $350,000 range, I have a little bit more stricter criteria. I say the credit needs to be 650 plus. That's for sure. Both the applicants need to be 650 plus. I don't allow anything like, hey, one applicant is 670, the other has minor damages like 610. No, she doesn't fit my criteria or he doesn't fit my criteria, so not eligible. Both needs to be in that. Income is 3 times rent. That's mandatory. Otherwise, there's possibilities of them missing rents, and stuff like that. And then on this particular property, there's a strict no pet policy. I do not allow any pets. Doesn't matter if it's a fish, if it is a snake, nothing. Pets means pets. No dogs, nothing. And no smoking, strictly. No smoking, even on the premises, not even inside the property. I just ask, hey, is there anybody who smokes? If they say yes, automatically I do not let them in.
Do you have the screening criteria written out so that an applicant, before they ever fill out an application, gets to see it and assess for themselves whether or not it even makes sense to apply?
Yes, so I have it written down. I have it as a Word document. On top of that, when I advertise the property, I advertise the screening criteria in the agent remarks. On so-and-so property, minimum credit, so-and-so. No pets allowed, minimum rent is 3x the income. So whenever they are looking at the property itself on Zillow or whichever application, they can see the screening criteria right there. And on top, when they put in the application or when they ask me, hey, send me the application, I sent the screening criteria along with the application. So they have 2 chances to review it. They have no chances to say, oh, I didn't see that, this criteria was there.
How many applicants did you go through before you were able to find this eligible applicant?
On this property, there was multiple inquiries, and there were people who wanted sympathies and stuff like that. Hey, I'm a single mother, those kind of stuff. Screening has been, if you ask, screening, there has been a lot of screening or people willing to apply. But I only had like 4 applicants that came through, applications that came through after they saw the screening criteria. Even to begin with, there was only 4 people who walked the property, visually walked it, because I do not allow everybody that call me to come to the property and take a look at it. Correct. If they do not fit my criteria, I'm sorry, I don't have a date for you to see the property.
From the date you listed the property to the date you signed a lease, how much time, for a new landlord out there who's thinking about this and thinking, oh, 2 weeks I'm going to get somebody signed up, or I have in mind somebody who's asked me to rent a property. How long a process did it take you from listing to signing?
On this part, again, this is property specific too, or the location specific, let's say location specific. On this property, it took me 35 days to find this applicant. Even before we moved out of the property, we had pictures and stagings and all those things done. And my listing was ready to go online the moment the property was vacant. So I listed it the moment it became vacant. It took almost 35, 38 days for him to sign the lease, to find a signed applicant.
Would you say that is longer, or would you say that's shorter than your normal experience finding a new tenant?
It is in the mid-range at this point. It is slowly climbing. Back in the days, now rental is stabilizing, the real estate market is stabilizing, so the days are getting longer. So there has been another property of mine which took close to like 50 days. So it is gradually climbing. Don't panic that, hey, I cannot find a tenant. I need to, reduce my criteria. There are some people who have over expectations, like I need 700 plus credit score. Those are unreliable expectations. In that case, your property is going to sit on the market for longer times. If you have a realistic screening criteria, you don't need to panic about 1 month, 30 days, 60 days. Depending upon the market and also the time. Let's say in summer you're gonna find somebody real quick. But if you have it during off seasons where people do not like to move, like let's say the winter seasons or the holiday seasons, the property is gonna stay longer, maybe 60 days, 90 days vacant. Don't panic. As long as your screening criteria is in the reasonable range, you're still gonna find always leased to a qualified tenant.
You used an interesting term. You talked about, having a reasonable range for your criteria. You talked about, number one, it sounded like you gave a warning to people who panic and then want to cut back on their criteria or, lessen their expectations and their requirements for eligibility. But you're saying if someone goes in with a clear set of good expectations and a mindset that this could take 30 to 60 days, that's been your experience as normal in the Houston area.
Yes.
Tell me about what steps you took. I know you say you were the prior occupant here. What steps did you take to make this unit ready to rent out to your prospective tenants?
When we had this property, like I mentioned, it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, made it with an office space, converted that office space into a bedroom by adding a closet in it, which makes it a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and bumped my rents by $300 per month. Deep cleaning was done. The property comes with all appliance packages, including refrigerator, washer, dryer. Repairs that needed to be addressed with regards to the landlording perspective steps to increase or to keep the life of the property. All those were done, paintings were done. So at this point, it is a move-in ready property, like a turnkey property at this point.
Tell me about the painting. How much painting did you do around the house?
So it was mostly touch-up paintings because there wasn't much damages. I had little kids who did some drawings here, there, kind of stuff.
We all have those kids.
Yes. So those were touched up, and then there was a foundation repair that was done on the property. That is because of the last year's summer heat, which caused a little bit of crack on the sheetrocks. That was repaired and painted over. So it was minimalistic painting that was done.
Now, you're saying that the appliances, did you buy new appliances, or it came with good appliances that you stand by?
It came with these appliances. Like the refrigerator is only 3 years old. The dishwasher is brand new, which I installed when this was our primary home. These range and microwaves, they are like 3 to 4 year old.
Not all landlords offer washer and dryer in their properties. Is this a new thing for you, or is this a common thing where you put a washer and dryer in your rentals?
I have seen most properties do not come with washer dryer, but that is one thing that attracts tenants to when they come around the property. Some people, even though they have washer and dryer with them, they come with it, they still like it when there is washer and dryer. It's a brand new washer and dryer. Like I mentioned, this was our primary home, so that was a brand new washer dryer we bought. We do not take those away, we leave on the property. The same with my other 2 rentals, has washer and dryer, so which is a attractive point to the tenant. But not a lot of landlords like, it has its pros and cons. The chances of it breaking down, now it's on you to take care of it.
Did you mention the lease that the tenant would take responsibility for the appliances, or that you would assume responsibility for the appliances?
So on my lease, it states that washer and dryer are optional stuffs. Landlord will not be doing any repairs to the washer and dryer. And that's on the tenants. If it breaks down, if you want to use it, use it. If you don't want to use it, put it in the garage, So it's optional stuffs. For those, we do not do any repairs. That's on the lease.
So Jeyo, we're outside of your property right now. This is a property that you have recently put on the market and you found a tenant for. Tell us a little bit about the outside. Tell us about what you've done here, what your expectations are for your tenant and the yard, and how to maintain the outside of the property.
Okay, my lease clearly states the landscaping is on the tenant. So they can choose one of our landscaping guys if they want to, but the payment will be done by the tenants. Plus, on top of that, the tenants are supposed to water the yard. It clearly states that, and how to water, like twice a week during summer times, then bi-weekly during the winter times. That is done. So if any damage to the grass is noticed, it's on the tenant. If they do not maintain the property as cutting the grass wise, we will be doing our inspections, and we feel not comfortable the way they are maintaining the lawn. We will be sending our landscaper, and the bill will be on the tenant. The lease clearly states that. So it is completely on the tenant's responsibility side to take care of the lawn.
So I'm looking around and I see that we are in a neighborhood. Is this property subject to a homeowners association?
Yes, it is.
And have you informed your prospective tenants of the HOA and its restrictions?
Yes, so the tenants are aware of that, and if there is any violations that happened, the lease, again coming back to the lease, it clearly states if there is any violations, the tenants needs to cure it. If the HOA assesses a fee, like a penalty fee, saying, hey, you didn't do it after so many times of notice, that fee, we will come, our team will come and rectify the issue, but that fee will be on the tenant. It will come out of the tenant's pocket. It's not our stuff. It is because the tenant didn't do what was supposed to be done on the property.
Okay. Well, let's head to the backyard. And tell me a little bit about your policy regarding above ground pools. What about trampolines? Are those allowed on your lease?
My lease clearly states those are not allowed because they are high risk stuffs. Insurance can deny my landlord insurance if they find out those stuffs are happening. That is in the lease. So that is a no-no, strictly no-no.
So what about your inspection policy? How often do you plan to be on the property to just see what the condition of the property is like?
So I am a local landlord from Houston, so the property is really accessible to me. So when the tenants move in on the move-in date, I physically come on the property to hand over the keys, the signed copies of the signed lease, and a move-in inventory condition form. And then 7 days after, they moved in, I come to physically pick up the inventory condition form. What was the condition of the property from the tenant's eyes? So that is one chance for me to see how they are moving in. Are they coming in with more people than mentioned in the lease, or do they have any pets they sneaked in? So those is easy for me to figure out when I'm on the property 7
Right.
days to pick it up.
Also,
Then from there,
are these even the same people? I know from time to time I've talked to numerous landlords who sign a lease with one group and a whole other group is moving in.
yes. So that 7 days is crucial for me. I come on the property, make sure these people are the same people who signed the lease, no too many people, no pets or stuff like that. Then from there, 3 months, I come and do the inspection of the property, the situations, the conditions, and then at 6 months mark, I do it again. So that would be like 3 inspections in a year they moved in. If they want to renew it after 12 months, before we sign the renewal of the lease, we come and again do the inspection.
Sounds great. Let's take it inside, it's warm.
Yes.
So Jeyo, thank you for welcoming me into your home and talking to me about your experience. I know this is going to be extremely helpful to lots of landlords who are out there, and I just want to say thanks and give you an opportunity. Is there any last thing that you want to talk to us about your landlording experience?
Always document stuff that you see when you're doing your walkthrough. Take pictures of the properties. Make sure you have tons of pictures of everything before the tenants move in. And when you are doing your walkthroughs, make sure you document pictures, talk a million words. So those are ways of documentation. Come with a camera, even if it's on your phone, make sure you take pictures rather than you just walk in, take some visuals and then send them an email. Another one tip I would say is if you are providing appliances, mostly not fixed ones like refrigerator, washer, dryer, document the serial number please. There is chances when they move out, they take those with them, they put another stuff in there and then say, hey, that was the stuff we got.
It's unfortunate, but I've heard more than one story of tenants who run off with the refrigerator or run off with some other appliance that was there. But yes, document everything. I strongly encourage that. And definitely photographs are extremely helpful, both for insurance purposes and for damage purposes if damage fees are going to be assessed against
And
them.
one more tip I strongly do that on my properties. Renter's insurance is must. Even though it only costs a small amount from the tenant side, but it's a must. If they do not provide that proof, which I already have it in the lease, I explain to them and all before they sign the lease, it protects the tenant's stuff. It doesn't do anything to the landlord. Do not give me a penny. If something happens on the property, it's to protect you, your belongings.
Right, and I know there's actually 2 kinds of renter's insurance where, like you say, insurance to protect a renter's personal property in the event of a fire or a flood.
Yes.
But then there's also renter's liability policies that sometimes landlords say, look, you have a dog, I'm going to require that you get liability insurance. And I know you said in this house,
no
pet policy. But for landlords who do allow pets, it's sometimes a very good idea for the tenant to have liability insurance in the event, as unlikely as it might be, that dog is involved in a dog bite or there's some other injury to another party because of the negligence of the tenant.
See, that's why you need to follow Ernie. That's a new nugget for me. Thank you very much for that nugget.
Well, Jeyo, I want to thank you very much for letting me in. And I thank you all, landlords. I hope you enjoy the content of today's video. There'll be more of these kinds of interaction with me and a landlord in the Houston area. If that's you, I welcome you to send me an email. The email address is here on the bottom of the screen. Let me know that you're interested in a landlord interview. Put the words landlord interview in the subject line. I'll be happy to reach out to you. If you enjoy what you're watching today, there's plenty of content on this channel. Please make sure that you're watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. But until next time, landlords, happy leasing.